Hey everybody, it's Mucha Marapa from Matrix Global Media as part of Facebook Timeline Marketing, where we're just trying to teach you how to become better marketers of your business fan page on these now not so recent Facebook changes, but still the ones that continue to excite and baffle us all in equal amounts. So in today's video, what I wanted to do was show another way that you can encourage engagement. You'll hear me talk an awful lot about it's so important to try and get people to do one of three things: to like, to share, or to comment. You know, you've got to get that reaction, and it's very important because we need to ensure that your page shows up in their news feed. So if they are liking 10 or 15 or 20 or even more different business pages, Facebook is going to make a call. They're going to make a decision on which one of those businesses or which handful of those businesses will show in your news feed. And when I refer to news feed, I'm just simply referring to something like this. Okay, so as you can see, I've got FB Timeline Marketing in there. I've got FB Timeline Dimensions in there. Those are the only couple of pages that I've gone ahead and I show enough interaction with. So therefore, anytime these pages post, Facebook put them into the news feed. So what I would like to show you is another way of sort of encouraging that. Of course, you know about putting good content in there. People will like it. You ask them just questions for individual comments. But there's this really fantastic tool that I don't believe is used enough with the new timeline, and it's almost like a multiple choice kind of poll question. Now, the page I'm on at the moment is my FB timeline review, and this is a really interesting story. I put this together about a year ago, and it specifically was going to be with the purpose of reviewing pages, i.e., Coca-Cola will have a page and I'll say, look, there's Coca-Cola's page. This is what I like about it. This is what I kind of don't like about it, yada, yada, yada. But for whatever reason, it just captured the imagination of Joe and Jesse Public. So what happened was I just began to get so many people just come to the page. And at first, it was quite uncomfortable because it was just one big moan session. I was having a lot of people say how unhappy they were with the pages and so on and so forth. But thankfully, when I sort of explained that, hey, listen guys, I am not Facebook. I'm just a guy who's just trying to sort of help this situation along and explain as best as possible, they were a little easier on me. And if you see here, for example, I get questions. This is probably my secret weapon, this page here, because I get so much feedback from people when they can't download something or they can't see something properly. As you see here, the lady here said, how do I get timeline review from my phone? There's another gentleman who said every time that he went to the page, he actually he got a message from a friend. The page is freezing. This really is Facebook timeline food and drink for me, so I'm very grateful for it. And as you can see here now, we're up to over 3,600 likes, and every single one of those is organic. There's been no advertising or anything else like that. Anyway, let's get on with it. What I'd like to talk about this time is just here. Now, as you well know, we normally just ask our questions and we do our bits and pieces, but if we go over to offer event, this is where we've got offers, which I'm going to talk about in great deal with the sort of monetizing side of timeline. But when we go events, milestones, and questions, these are little nuggets that can really sort of help you. Okay, so we're going to go with questions on this occasion. Now, to save time, I've already gone ahead and I have typed out my questions, and I'm going to put them in here. But cutting a long story short, what I've tried to do here, without shadow of doubt, the fantastic thing about this Facebook timeline review page that I have is the feedback. When people are unhappy, boy, you hear about it, and it's great. I can really get some feedback. So what I've done here, there's actually talk that Facebook are going to be making some more changes, but this time, certainly initially, just with the personal pages. So what I've said here is, what are your thoughts on the pending changes to the timeline yet again? And I'm being a bit naughty there because I know people will sort of go, I'm not happy, because it was, like I said, it was very uncomfortable in the early days. In the first instance, it will probably only be with personal profiles. But what are your thoughts about this? Okay. Then we go over here to the poll options. Now, what we're going to do here is I've got my questions. and I'm just going to put them in, but you can just go ahead and okay, so that's number 1. Number 2 is, so first of all, I've said, bad idea. I'm still getting used to the ones that are in place. The next one I've said, good idea. I've never liked the changes that were made in the first place. The third one, I've said, I've got no opinion about it either way because I'm just not really interested anymore. The number of people who have said, listen, I'm out of here, I'm quitting Facebook. And that's a very interesting thing in itself, because I believe more and more businesses are warming to Facebook. At the same time, more and more sort of individual Facebook users are maybe not so cool on it anymore. And it'll be interesting to see if indeed the folks at Facebook can have it both ways. The individuals on there socializing and having a great time, while the businesses still feeling that it's a viable avenue for their business. Now, this is an important one here, right? Allow anyone to add options. So you can actually have people to add different areas and questions. So again, some things that you could say to them are, what things are you interested in learning about, and blah blah blah, and you start off with the multiple choice and then they can put some in. But I'm not going to allow that. Okay, I'm just going to leave it as it is. So here we are, we've gone ahead, I've said, what are your thoughts on the pending changes to the timeline yet again? I might be even a bit naughtier and make this a capital, just to show that I'm wanting a response from it. In the first instance, it will probably only be with personal profiles, but what are your thoughts about this? Bad idea. I'm still getting used to the previous changes. Good idea. I've never liked the changes that were made. I have no opinion either way. I've fallen out of love with Facebook. Again, let's be a bit naughty. Okay. Good idea, bad idea. Oh, this is interesting. I forgot to mention that when you go ahead, I better just keep it the way it was. When you go ahead and type in some answers, you will often be sent to some fan pages that might have the same sort of heading. So I'll just leave it. I'll tell you what I'll say. I'll say no opinion. No opinion either way. I just want to make sure that there's enough room for me to. Okay, let's just leave it that way. No opinion either way. I've fallen out of love with Facebook. You'll have my answer once I see the changes, and I suspect that may be quite a popular one. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to post that. Okay, so that now is kind of live, for want of a better word. Let me see if I can pin this to the top. Indeed I can. So here you see now, this is pinned to the top. This will stay at the top of the page. It says, what are your thoughts on the pending changes to the timeline yet again? In the first instance, it will probably be on. And then we've got some questions, and everybody's just going to go ahead and answer this. But this is where it gets very interesting, okay? Because hopefully, I've just recently liked my own page, believe it or not. So I'm going to go ahead and I will look in here, and sure enough, in my newsfeed, this is what I'm talking about. Now look at the difference between this and the post from Dr. Steve. Great guy out in Sacramento, and he's got, he's talking about a workshop and some dates for them and so on and so forth, which is great. But do you see how somebody would probably be a little bit more inclined on the go or whatever just to go ahead and answer something like this, as opposed to if you've got lots and lots of copy. So this is a very, very powerful tool. Number one, to get the attention of the people that you're looking to attract, but secondly, the feedback. I cannot stress it enough that Facebook and the timeline provides such a wonderful platform to listen and to take on board. And you see, the more people talk about and give you information, that can serve as the foundation for the way that you write your email copy, you do your adverts, your direct mail. So I hope this has helped you. Be sure, please, to use this poll option, the multiple choice questions. They're very, very important. I know they will serve you, and I'd be very grateful for some of your comments. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know if you've been using this facility and how you've been getting on. Until next time, thanks a lot for taking the time to listen and watch, and I look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon.